joyful hearts to celebrate this milestone in our lives. We are thankful for our educational opportunities at Pulaski Academy and pray what we have learned may be taken into the world in order to serve you faithfully in the years to come. We ask that you would be present with us now and ask your blessing on this commencement ceremony. This we pray in your holy name. Amen. Please be seated. Mr. Dunn, on behalf of the class of 2022, I would like to present our gift to the school.
Good evening. On behalf of the faculty, staff, and board of trustees, it is my pleasure and honor to welcome you tonight to the 49th commencement of Pulaski Academy. Class of 2022. You have a lot of people here tonight that have made sacrifices for you. They have sacrificed their time, they have sacrificed their money, they have sacrificed many sleepless nights and countless other things. So please join me in thanking your families, your teachers, and all of those who've supported you these last 18 or so years. Thank you. Tonight is exciting for many reasons. While a commencement is a formal ceremony marking this occasion, it also signifies the beginning of something. And I'm excited for the beginning of this class's next chapter. It's also personally exciting for me. As some of you may know, my daughter, youngest daughter, Virginia, is graduating with this class, which makes it a little extra emotional on its own, but adds to my address to you tonight. Because I've seen many of you grow up over a number of years. I've seen your cute faces in childhood and early childhood and lower schools. I've seen your really, really awkward phases in middle school. And I've seen you grow into the young men and women who are seated before us tonight. I could not be more proud of you and how you have represented our school. This class has accomplished a lot, academically, athletically, artistically, and really just about anything else they put their minds to. And they've done it all under challenging circumstances these last few years. But you know, challenges bring great lessons. You have learned things you didn't realize you needed to know, like how to quarantine. Not from a textbook, but you actually had to put that in practice, or whatever social distancing means, right? But I hope that you have learned these last few years that there is no substitute for the real thing, for being together. There's no Snapchat, there's no FaceTime or any other social media that can replace the connection you have when you are together. I hope and believe that you have learned you are better together. And those lessons learned will serve you so very well these next few years as you leave everything familiar to start your next new chapter. The example of those you stood to celebrate, the lessons learned these last few years, and the character you have developed here at Pulaski Academy of respect, responsibility, excellence, honor above all, and integrity, these have prepared you for today and for your new beginning. And remember, whether you are traveling far away or staying close to home, you will always be a Bruin. So let me be the first to congratulate you. I cannot wait to see where you go from here.
Doesn't every top gifts for grads list start with the iconic or cliched, "Oh, the places you'll go"? Y'all know it. Congratulations. Today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. Your brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own and you know what you know. And you are the guy who will decide where you go. You look up and down streets, look them over with care. About some you will say, I choose not to go there. With your head full of brains and your shoes full of, wait a second, I've heard this before. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Can it be? January 1990. The Road Not Taken was first published in 1916. Is Dr. Seuss a plagiarist? Is Dr. Seuss the Vanilla Ice of children's literature? Is he the Snuggie to Bob Frost's Flank-It? You will come to a place where the streets are not marked. Some windows are lighted, but mostly they're dark. A place you could sprain both your elbow and chin. Do you dare to stay out? Do you dare to go in? Or, then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for the passing there, had warned them really about the same. Back to Seuss. And if you go in, should you go left or right and 3/4, or maybe not quite, or go round back and sneak in from behind? Simple it's not, I'm afraid you will find, for a mind maker-upper to make up her mind. And both that morning equally lay, and leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted I should ever come back. As an academic leader of an institution, I've got to be asking myself, is this plagiarism? Is there an act of academic integrity here? Maybe not. Maybe an idea can't be plagiarized. Maybe good stuff is just good stuff. Think about it. Maybe a raspberry culotta is just a blue Slurpee. And maybe, just maybe, we should all be fine with that. If you're not laughing, it's because you're not from the Northeast. That's a nice Dunkin' Donuts 7-Eleven reference for y'all. But for the kids, y'all remember your middle school days? Didn't Christina Aguilera sing a song called Beautiful? And One Direction sing one called What Makes You Beautiful? Songs sound different, but if you look at the lyrics, they're very, very similar. When Liam said, you're insecure, don't know what for, and Christina sang, now and then I get insecure, one might think that the boys from England stole the lyrics from Christina. But I searched, and I can't find a single lawsuit about this. I don't recall arguments in the tabloids between the one-time host of The Voice, which really is just a rip-off of American Idol, and the young fellas from One Direction, who really are just a version of the Backstreet Boys. And maybe it's because nobody cares if the lyrics are the same, because the message of valuing one's own beauty is a pretty darn good one. Maybe that's a universal truth, and we should embrace it as such. But you older folks in the crowd, sorry, there's some old people here, you might not get this reference, so instead I'll ask you to ponder this. Is New York Minute by Don Henley just a ripoff of Billy Joel's New York State of Mind? And did Jay-Z rip them both off with Empire State of Mind? For you, my question is really this. Are they hacks or just really big fans of New York City? Because if you like New York City, and I like New York City, and we both sing about New York City, does that make us plagiarists or just a group of musicians singing about similar life experiences? Back to the kids. Let me put it this way for you. Y'all remember from your middle school days a story about a couple of kids who had to use intelligence, courage, and heart to complete an adventure. Their adventure is full of challenges that ultimately lead to text and age-appropriate versions of self-discovery. Adventure that leads to life lessons that we could all learn from. The kids are revolutionary and inspirational. They defied the set of norms to do what they know is right rather than what they are told is normal. There's obviously some out-of-the-box concepts along the way. I imagine many of you, and I'm looking at y'all, know the story I'm talking about. But my point is this. Y'all think you know the story I'm talking about, when in fact, some of you were thinking about Harry Potter and his friends Ron and Hermione. Some of you are imagining Katniss and Peeta in the Hunger Games. Still others might go the divergent route and think of Triss and Caleb. Wouldn't it be cool if some of us were also visualizing young alum and world-class author Ayanna Gray's Beasts of Prey and her characters Kofi and Ekon? And I hope at least one or two of you are thinking about my favorite, Matilda. 5 different stories, 5 similar messages. Does it mean they stole each other's stories, or that they're simply really good messages? So do we judge the country music equivalent? Let's face it. Tim McGraw's 2.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu is the same as Seuss's Oh, the Places You'll Go. Did McGraw swipe his tune from Seuss, who swiped his book from Frost? Oh, what a tangled web we weave. He said I was in my early 40s with a lot of time before me, and a moment came that stopped me on a dime. I spent most of the next days looking at the x-rays, talking about options, and talking about sweet time. Is the same as, I'm sorry to say so, but sadly it's true, that bang-ups and hang-ups can happen to you. You'll get all hung up in a prickly perch, and your gang will fly on. You'll be left in a lurch. No, that's not for your Seussical rhyming, pickup truck driving, country loving, graduating selves. So you go skydiving. You go Rocky Mountain climbing. You go 2.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu. But Seuss goes, with banners flip-flapping, once more you'll ride high, ready for anything under the sky. Ready, because you're that type of guy. So I think I got it wrong earlier. If McGraw stole from Seuss, that makes him the Snuggie. Seuss, then, is the Slanket, which makes Bobby Frost the original, or in simpler terms, not a linen revolutionary, but a guy who just happened to put his robe on backwards. Now, Seuss was no country star, but aren't he and Frosty, and I guess McGraw, all saying the same thing? And so if you can't plagiarize an idea, especially one that's universal, like love or positivity, or that vegetables stink, or the universal beauty of music, or that sleeves attached to fabric is really just a variation of a shirt, then I think it's okay for all of us to embrace such messages. So what are they all trying to tell us? Somewhere, ages and ages hence, they were telling us with a sigh that you will succeed. Yes, you will indeed. 98.75% guaranteed. And on that journey, you should love deeper, speak sweeter, and give forgiveness you've been denying. So please, my dear friends, take the road less traveled by. I promise you, it'll make all the difference.
It is my pleasure to introduce the salutatorian for the class of 2022. Harrison is the son of Mark and Jennifer McCarty. Harrison McCarty is a natural leader whose charisma, intelligence, and social concern set him apart from his peers. He cares deeply about individuals, local communities, and the greater nation. His goal is to pursue a career in which he can make a direct impact on our nation's policy and people through collaboration and hard work. Harrison is a highly motivated young man whose beliefs are evident through his actions. A 4-year member of Student Council, an outgoing vice president, he worked tirelessly with his leadership peers to increase engagement in the annual canned food drive and helped spearhead an initiative for quarterly volunteer program. Harrison's projects extend past the Pulaski Academy community, as during the pandemic shutdown, he worked with friends to create an online fundraiser in response to the Beirut port explosion, raising over $2,500 for the Lebanese Red Cross. Harrison's positive can-do attitude makes him a crowd favorite and an influencer within the group, whether they be his high school peers or his summer camp kids at Winnemucca. Scholastically, Harrison's zest for learning, desire for personal growth, and dedication to excellence are unrivaled. Through his involvement in Model United Nations, his talent for strategy, public speaking, and collaboration resulted in numerous awards from such competitive events as the Ivy League and the Notre Dame conferences. Above all, he demonstrated his high level of academic curiosity, research, and analysis through his honors senior thesis project, Barred from the Vote, Felony Disenfranchisement and its Intersections with Race and Class. Harrison has established himself as a change maker in his high school experience, an active participant in improving his community and world, and a model of scholastic achievement. He is the type of young person who will blaze his way through life, influencing others, encouraging growth, garnering involvement, and affecting change. Ultimately, Harrison McCarty's energy and intelligence are his defining factors that will undoubtedly propel him towards a promising future. Please welcome your class salutatorian, Harrison McCarty.
Thank you, Dr. Livingston, for those amazingly kind words. Hi, everyone. My name is Harrison McCarty, and I'm honored to stand before you tonight as the salutatorian for the class of 2022. Before I begin, I would like to thank everyone who helped me stand at this podium today. First, I would like to thank my friends and family for being so supportive and encouraging these past 4 years. Even when I was definitely in the wrong, which is probably more often than I'd like to admit, you were always there with forgiveness and advice. I also need to give a big shout out to Becca Connell, Ava Davis, Lindsay Davidson, Kate Hatley, Alea Mooney, and Riley McCoy, because sophomore year, I promised them if I got to make a speech at graduation, I'd recognize them. I additionally need to give special recognition to my dad, whose birthday is today, and has been trying to avoid the fact so that my day could be extra special. Thank you, Dad. I would also like to thank all of my teachers over the past 4 years for shaping me into the student, citizen, and friend that I am today. I can never forgive myself, though, if I didn't give special recognition to Mr. Toppich and Ms. Pierce for being so helpful, transformational, honest, and kind as they put up with my constant confusion and questioning in class. Finally, I would like to express my utmost gratitude to everyone who makes PA what it is. From the maintenance crew, to the administration, to the teachers, to the student body, each and every part of the PA community is essential in making this school so special to my classmates and I. Last summer, I went on an amazing trip for 3 weeks with a company called Moondance. Through this trip, I was introduced to 11 fascinating, inspiring, fun, and loving individuals that shifted how I perceive myself and the world around me. Now, it may be odd that I'm standing at my high school graduation from a school that I attended for 16 years talking about a group of people I knew for just 3 weeks. But when I was instructed to speak about memories of the past and advice for the future, the first thing that came to mind was what one of my friends told me at the conclusion of the trip. As we all stood in the Atlanta airport giving our final teary goodbyes, she told me that she was not going to say goodbye because that was too absolute. She was going to express her hatred of absolutes. I think I can say with pretty high confidence that these past few weeks have been full of lasts. Our last school dance, our last bell, our last time sitting in that special teacher's class, our last time walking through the halls. So in times like these, it seems pretty difficult to avoid the idea of absolutes. What I have found, however, is that some solace can be found in the absoluteness of it all. As I mentioned earlier, I'm now rounding out my 16th year as a Bruin. Although it is strange and discomforting to think about graduating from this place, it is exciting and it is conclusive. When something so beautifully disruptive enters into one's life, it is hard to not fall into sentimental daydreams and exciting hypotheticals. Lately, I've been very prone to the former. Sometimes I wish I could escape the absoluteness that is walking across this stage and being handed the diploma and return to the days of making spiders out of Oreo cookies and pretzels, playing Minecraft in Mr. Tato's room before school in 5th grade, or going to Dallas with my classmates, or even just walking in to the first day of high school. But that would be betraying the sanctity of those moments. I've realized that sometimes the passage of time teaches the biggest lesson. I can now look back on those moments with gratitude for not only having the amazing opportunity to experience them, but for everything they taught us. They taught us how to share, how to work with others, how to form genuine friendships, and how to be there for someone in their lowest moments. In some ways, the absoluteness of time is comforting and inspiring. We can only live moments once before they slip into the quiet confines of our memory. It is in times like this that I wish I had the writing skills of the great authors so that I could properly express how I feel when I reflect on our time together as a class. Instead, I'm forced to resign to the vague explanation of a complex feeling that is almost indescribable. Sometimes I can get close to pinning this feeling down whenever I'm driving around at sunset with the windows down or on a warm summer night, or whenever our football team scores a seemingly impossible touchdown and the student section erupts, or when the lights go down on a band, choir, or theater performance, and the crowd becomes more than silent. All I know is that because of our moments together, we have all been changed in ways both big and small, perhaps in ways that we will not even recognize until years have passed. We are as impactful on each other as the sun is the earth, a continuous cycle of change that feeds into itself. We grow because we are together. In this sense, no one is truly a unique individual because we are all impacted by our experiences with those around us. In just a few short moments, we will experience our final time together as Pulaski Academy's class of 2022. Enjoy the absoluteness and the overwhelming conclusiveness of this moment and everything that it symbolizes. But know that it does not have to be the end. Although it is unlikely that we will all ever be together again, that does not mean we have to say goodbye. Yes, we will certainly depart from this auditorium feeling accomplished, proud, and excited about the future, but we should not let that blind us from understanding that the continuation of our relationships is anything but certain. We are standing at a unique moment in our lives in which we are becoming more responsible for who we are and who we want to be. I think we should all first choose to be an individual that covets the passage of time. After all, is that not the point of life, to enjoy the absoluteness of the progression of time? Although our high school experience is impermanent, does not mean it is insignificant. Yes, we have reached the conclusion of our 4 years of high school, and we have to leave it behind. But those two things, experiences and departures, are not in spite of each other, but because of each other. We build everything to say goodbye to it, so take a moment and look around you, because this moment of absolute conclusion is a physicalization of years of hard work and the beginning of a new season of growth and joy as we advance towards the next moment of absoluteness. Although it can be difficult, we must let go and walk courageously into the future. I guess what I'm trying to say here is to find comfort in the closure, but to understand that doors that were once opened wide will never truly shut behind you. So do I agree with my dear friend that absoluteness is the villain in our great epics? Yes and no. Yes, it is sad that such a monumental stage of our life is coming to an end, but that doesn't mean the connections we have made must. We must understand that the new beginnings do not require one to ignore their past. But at the same time, a conclusive end can bring enlightenment that can only be reached through the process of retrospective thought. We will always be because we once were. Although it may not seem like it, none of us will ever truly depart Pulaski Academy because we will carry bits and pieces of it in our hearts and in our minds. So with that, I will not say goodbye, but I will say where next. Where will our next great journey be? Who's going to join us? And when will we reach our final conclusive destination? Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2022.
I am proud to introduce our valedictorian for the class of 2022. Julianne Antuaco is the daughter of Terrence and Josephine Antuaco. Julianne's relentless commitment to personal success is unmatched on the tennis court, in the classroom, and within the community. As a student athlete and a 2-year team captain, Julianne has contributed to 3 consecutive state championship tennis teams, earning 2 state doubles championships and 4 all-state designations. Her confident demeanor and unmatched skill propel her to success on the court, and her teammates admire her ability to strategize and keep calm under pressure. Academically, Julianne's accomplishments are a byproduct of her natural abilities coupled with unparalleled diligence and remarkable ambition. After working long hours during the COVID lockdown at the UALR Research Lab with the oversight of a mentor professor, she earned first in region and second in state at the Arkansas Science and Engineering Fair with her project, Phycor Mediation, using nanochloropsis as a cost-effective tool for remediating lead pollution in wastewaters. Her research paper, The Reemergence of Religion in Central Asia, analyzing the use of Islam as a political tool for radicalization, was published in the winter 2021 issue of the Concord Review. Most recently, she successfully defended her senior thesis project, Life After Civil War, Trauma and Societal Reconstruction in Africa. She also served as Student Council President, Amnesty International Vice President, Medical Club President, and Honor Council member. Julianne's achievements outside of the classroom are equally as impressive. She has donated her time and talents to the nonprofit ACE Tennis Organization for Children with Disabilities and serves on the board of directors for Women's Actions for New Directions. Julianne is a lifelong learner, a talented athlete, and an engaged citizen. She is an effective leader who speaks her mind with a level of clarity, tact, and understanding that belays her youth. Above all her personal achievements, Julianne Antuaco is a genuine, relatable, communicative, collaborative, and kind, qualities that will no doubt lead her towards success in her path beyond Pulaski Academy. Please welcome Julianne to the podium.
Good evening. I'm so honored to stand before you all today as a class of 2022 valedictorian. I wanted to begin with a few thank yous because this journey was most definitely not an individual effort. To my parents and siblings, I want to thank you for teaching me the value of hard work, of perseverance, and of good faith. You were and always will be my biggest supporters. Next, I would like to thank my teachers and my advisors. During the busiest times of the year, I sometimes saw more of you all than my own family and friends. All of the extra hours spent at school or doing additional projects, you all were there with me, sacrificing your own time and effort. It is because of you all that I was able to grow into the person that I am today. I can still remember how much my voice used to shake every time I had to stand in the class, how I used to have to rehearse over and over again what I wanted to say in my head before finally getting the courage to raise my hand. With the continued encouragement and support of my teachers, I've let go of that fear. And while I'm still working on it, I no longer have the discomfort and the nerves. And when I finally let go of that fear, I found passion. And when I found that passion, I was then able to speak with confidence. At Pulaski Academy, the personal relationships I have built with my teachers and advisors have been a fundamental part of my growth as a person and as a student. I remember my freshman year feeling the most overwhelmed I'd ever been up until this point, and Mrs. Cass sees me on the verge of a breakdown in the middle of the hallway. She pulled me into her office, and I remember I started sobbing with these math packets in my hand. She confiscated them from me and told me that they were a later problem. We then sat down, and she helped me work to create a plan to finish all of my assignments. From then on, I knew that I was in good hands moving into the rest of high school. Mr. Toppich, while he was known for his tough love stance, has always reminded me to take confidence within my skills. I remember my sophomore year of high school, he wrote on my report card that he wanted to see me be able to voice my ideas within class. And at the very end, he wrote, "You can do it." It is because of him that I found my voice and started getting involved in various organizations within the community. My most important thank you goes to my fellow peers. Some of you taught me how to let loose every now and then and live a little, while others accompanied me on my late nights reviewing for tests and finishing projects. Some of you, while I likely never told you this, I looked up to for your leadership skills, for your ability to command a room just by walking into it. Some of you taught me the value of patience and helped me to master the art of minding my own business. Others I quietly admired for your athleticism, your wit, your smarts, your confidence, your passion, your kindness. I want to thank you because many of the best parts of me were molded after the best parts of you all. This school has always been a second home to me, and these people, family. In times of struggle, this community comes together like none other. I still remember the very first time I felt like this was in the 2nd grade. My sister had just been diagnosed with a rare blood disorder and started to undergo chemotherapy. Some parents came together and hosted a school-wide community bone marrow drive. And while I didn't understand what was truly happening at the time, we were getting flooded with love and with support. Jamie's classmates would leave dozens of cards and gifts for me to take to the hospital after school. And my peers taught me how to go through the after-school program for the first time. I'm older now and can finally grasp the weight of what this community has done for me. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. One of my favorite quotes has been written on my whiteboard for the entirety of the year, forcing me to look at it every morning. And it reads, "Education is an admirable thing, but it's well to remember from time to time that nothing that is worth knowing can be taught." While I'm grateful for the incredible educational opportunities that this school has offered me, it is the experiences I've had and the people I've known throughout my 15 years at Pulaski Academy that have been the most valuable. Trading silly bands on the playground during my kindergarten recesses was my first experience with business and negotiating. I'll never forget getting ripped off from my sparkly blue dolphin silly band. Performing at our Field Day Olympics, where we raised Jack into the air at the end of our Lion King dance, showed me that maybe I actually did like being in front of a crowd. Mrs. Harrison's Pine Tree song was a reminder that it doesn't take much more than a song to bring people together. More recently, planning our first high school-wide dodgeball tournament and our school dances showed me the importance of leadership, community building, and how to use grade versus grade rivalries to get more participation. All of these memories, though we share most of them, all taught us a different lesson. To the class of 2022, I don't necessarily feel as though I'm in the place to be giving you advice, seeing that I'm graduating alongside you all. So instead, I thought I would read you some of the reminders that I've left for myself as we move into this next chapter of our life. Pave your own path, but don't be afraid to look to others for guidance. Do the things that make you uncomfortable, that make your heart skip a beat, that give you butterflies in your stomach, because that is when you'll learn the most. Join that club, go to that event, speak in front of that crowd. Talk to people you wouldn't normally talk to. Don't stay within your bubble, because just as I've learned something from you all, there's something you can learn from every new person that you meet. Take that opportunity. Don't be afraid to reach out, because at the very least, there's always an experience to be gained. Don't just hear, but really listen, and lead with empathy and with kindness. This is the last time we're all really going to be together. Cherish the memories we share, and don't forget about the people around you. After many years together, we can finally say that we did it, and I'm so proud of us and all that we've accomplished, which is quite a long list. Just to name a few, we are 3-time state football champions, 3-time girls state tennis champions, 7-time boys state tennis champions, 4-time basketball conference champions, 2-time dance state champions, soccer state champions. We've won at numerous band competitions, National History Day, Science Fair, Choir and Thespian, NHD, Science Fair, etc. And throughout all of these, we had the PA community rooting us on. Your life is now. Take advantage of every opportunity that you've been given and make change. All of our accomplishments give me complete confidence that we will continue to go on and do great things in the future. Well, for many of us, this is where we will part ways. This school and its people will always have a special place in our hearts. Thank you for your time. Congratulations to the class of 2022, and go Bruins.
Dr. William Heffley is our distinguished alumni speaker for tonight. He's a National Merit finalist from the class of 1977. During high school, Bill was a scholar athlete and a member of every club PA offered. He was senior high student government president. He also was voted by his classmates as most likely to succeed. He attended Harding University for his undergraduate education. Bill graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Biochemistry from Harding. After receiving his medical degree from Vanderbilt University School of Medicine, Dr. Heffley completed his internship and residency in orthopedic surgery at the University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences and received additional training in sports medicine and joint replacement surgery at St. Mary's Hospital System and the Royal National Orthopedic Hospital in London, England. He returned to Little Rock and began practicing orthopedic surgery in 1990. As an athlete and a marathon runner, youth sports coach, and father of high school sports and college athletes, Dr. Heffley's lifelong love of sports has fueled his passion for treating patients who play sports and returning them to the game they love. In addition, he enjoys serving other patients who simply want to be able to lead active lifestyles with pain-free mobility. I agree. Dr. Heffley is routinely recognized as one of the top orthopedic surgeons in Arkansas. He has been voted multiple times as one of the best doctors in Arkansas by AY Magazine and has been voted best orthopedic surgeon by the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, Arkansas Times, and Soiree Magazine. Not only do patients come from surrounding states to see Dr. Heffley, but his reputation extends beyond the region. Patients have traveled as far away as Alaska and Europe, seeking Dr. Heffley's surgical expertise. Dr. Heffley has consulted with leading orthopedic implant manufacturers to design new hip and knee implants. He has led numerous clinical research trials concerning hip and knee replacement patients. He was one of a group of orthopedic and spine surgeons that developed Arkansas Surgical Hospital in 2005. In addition, Dr. Heffley founded a healthcare software company, MedEvolve, in Little Rock in 1998. That company today is a national provider of data-driven technology and services for healthcare organizations. Dr. Heffley has given many years of service to PA as a student, alumni, parent, and professional. Whether he was coaching the 5th and 6th grade football teams, serving on the board of trustees, or being our sideline physician, Dr. Heffley believes in our PA mission and education. And we are thrilled to have him here as our graduation speaker and distinguished alumni for our 50th anniversary year. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Bill Heffley.
Thank you for that warm introduction. President Dunn, Board of Trustees, faculty, alumni, friends, proud parents and grandparents, and above all, graduates, I'm truly honored to speak to you today. Thank you for inviting me. You know, a few months ago, in late fall, I was talking to Mr. Dunn. He said, the school's been around 50 years now. This upcoming graduation ceremony, it's kind of a big deal. We're looking for a commencement speaker that's got a lot of wit and wisdom, really inspirational. Unfortunately, they never found one. It looks like you're stuck with me. So listen up and we'll get through it. But class of 2022, I'm so proud of you. You are an impressive group. You've been accepted to 114 institutions, 39 states, 2 foreign countries. You've received over $16 million in scholarships, for which your parents are grateful. You have 3 National Merit finalists and 1 commended scholar. The list goes on and on. I think maybe at this point I ought to sit down and let you give me some advice. In the late spring of 1971, Richard Nixon was president, and the acreage where this building sits and all the surrounding area was nothing but woods. And I was a 6th grader at Brady Elementary School here in Little Rock. My parents, Dad, who never went out at night much without us kids, began to disappear in the evenings, and they were going to some meeting that was called by Mr. William F. Billy Rector. And my sisters and I heard whispers about possibly a new school being developed. The version of Pulaski Academy that opened 3 months later that fall was not super impressive. It was a single building out in the country with 1 long hallway down the middle. Henson Road was an unpaved 2-lane road. There weren't even sidewalks on the building. I begged my parents to leave me in public schools. I didn't want to go there. I'm thankful that is one of the 1,000 times they did not listen to me. I didn't make good decisions. My mom was a teacher, and they were supporters of public education, but they decided they would take a risk and back this new school, and it paid off for my sisters and me. I love my new school. From that humble beginning, the school began to take shape pretty quickly. Headmaster Mo Shoemate and head coach Butch Ferreter were pivotal leaders in the formative years of the school, leaders without whom I'm not sure the school would be here. They called an assembly in the parking lot early in school because really there was no place for us to assemble. And the purpose was to pick the mascot and the colors. The faculties had brought some suggestions. The kids all shouted names. They explained that a Bruin was actually a bear. And so we all voted. We did a show of hands. And by the time we left, we were the Bruins and would wear blue and gold. I remember the alma mater being written, the crest being designed by teachers. More buildings would pop up every year. I was senior high president when we held a car wash-a-thon that earned enough money to pay for a school sign out front that the teachers hand-painted and was set in stone and was still sitting there when my kids went to school here. We all had a ton of pride in our new school and excitement about the first football team, first basketball team, all the new clubs and organizations, but most of all, I remember what you're going to remember is all the amazing people. Teachers, coaches, administrators, and of course, all my friends that made this place so special. It seemed like we were a family back then. Looking back at the school I attended 50 years ago, none of us would envision a graduation ceremony in this amazing CPAC facility. On this 32-acre campus with all these amenities, we've come a long way. By 1977, I and all of my classmates were sitting on folding chairs on the concrete floor of the new lower gym. I think it's the cafeteria now. And we were there for our commencement ceremonies. So when I was sitting there at graduation like you are now, I remember many emotions. I was sad to be leaving all my close friends. I was excited about college, and there was a little bit of apprehension. Would I fit in? Was I prepared? Would I be able to make the grades to get into med school? My first semester at Harding, I took freshman biology along with 375 of my classmates. After the first big test, the professor wrote the results on the board. It wasn't good. 75% of the grades were D's and F's. There were 13 B's and 1 A. As he began to pass back the graded test, a near riot broke out. People were standing in the aisles screaming, "This is ridiculous. This is so unfair." Now, I'd been to PA, and I thought the test was pretty reasonable. It's kind of straightforward. I'd actually had much harder in high school, I thought. Well, sure enough, he handed me my test, and I could see that I was the A. But being new in college, I wanted to make new friends, so I quickly put it face down and said, "This is ridiculous." The point is, I soon learned that PA, even as a fledgling school not nearly as sophisticated as the one you all have attended, had more than prepared me for college. While it is natural to be a little scared, take comfort in the knowledge that you are prepared and you will do fine. So I'm indebted to PA. It opened a lot of doors for me. It educated my 4 kids. Now it is your turn to step through these doors and out into the world. I thought about what advice I could offer you that would have helped me back then. I came up with a few truths that I've learned along the way, some of them the hard way. These are lessons I try to teach my kids and all those little players I coach. Number 1, start with a plan. Carry a to-do list every day. Study shows you will accomplish more and be more successful. Before you go out in the evening, decide if you will drink and your limit to what you'll drink. It's hard to decide once you start. I'm talking about after you're 21. Decide what you'll participate in, where you'll draw the line, and that you will take your friend's car keys. Know before you go. Importantly, you also need to establish some long-term goals. That's very important. To have a remarkable life, you need to first decide you want one and then plan it. You can adjust as you go. What is important is to picture how you want the future to go. Envision it. A few years ago, my mom found an essay that I'd written in college that said I planned to become a doctor, marry in my late 20s, and have 4 kids. I had it all figured out. I was lucky enough, some years after college, to meet Lisa, who since that time lets me know what my plan is. I just check in with her. Fortunately, she had a similar plan, so all that stuff came true. I believe that often the hardest part of getting what you want is deciding what it is. If you just drifted along looking down, focused on the day-to-day, you often don't know which way to turn. Decide what you want, establish a plan, and establish a distant goal, and keep your eyes focused on that. And then the path becomes self-evident. Number 2, follow your passion. Almost from the time I could talk, I wanted to be a doctor like my dad. I loved science and math. I wanted to help people. I also loved to build and fix stuff. I built a go-kart, a sled, numerous forts and tree houses. I made a bicycle built for 2 out of 2 rusty old bikes I found on a junk pile. On the maiden voyage down Fallwood Hill, it crashed and sent Jana Baker to the ER for stitches. Poor trusting Jana had just assumed that I'd built in steering and brakes. YouTube had not been invented. But I had a passion for working with my hands, so when I got to medical school, it was natural that I gravitated to orthopedic surgery. Number 3, be curious. When I was in college, I took an elective in computer programming, pretty much just out of curiosity. For whatever reason, I was fascinated. I had no intention of ever working with computers. I just thought they were really cool. Fast forward 15 years, and I was a young doctor in practice when I took a role with an electronic medical records company out of Philadelphia, developing clinical content for orthopedic surgeons. That proved to be successful. I enjoyed that, and that led to founding a healthcare software company here in Little Rock in 1998. That company today serves physician practices all across the United States. When I took a programming course in 1978, I really had no idea where that would lead. I was just curious. Be a lifelong learner. Number 4, take risks. To wildly succeed, you have to be willing to risk failure. Everyone experiences failure. The only people that never fail are the ones that never try to do much. And that itself is a form of failure. Perhaps the greatest risk is doing nothing at all. One of my mentors in orthopedic training would ask the new residents every year, what is the definition of an experienced person? The answer, one that has made a lot of mistakes. Thus, I am very experienced. I have had some spectacular failures. Show of hands, how many people here have bought into a powdered milk pyramid scheme? Just one? Only one? I was a first-year med student. I was 22. I had no money. As it turns out, nobody drinks powdered milk, except me for the next year. I hear about that every class reunion. In the coming years, you're going to see opportunities that carry risk. If you find one that you are passionate about, ask yourself, how will I feel about myself, and what will my situation be if I try this and fail? But perhaps more importantly, can I live with myself if I don't try this at all? Decide which path would feel like you settled and take the other path. Don't settle. Number 5, believe in yourself. Taking risks means betting on yourself. You can do more than you now realize. You'll get to know yourself better along the way. My first night of taking call, I was a week out of med school when I got a code blue page. Heart pounding, I ran up the stairs and entered this long hallway where I could see a bunch of worried people outside the patient's room at the far end. Somebody looked up and saw me hurrying that way in my white coat and yelled, "Here comes the doctor." Now, I've been a doctor for all of a week, and my first thought was, thank God there's a doctor. Suddenly I realized, oh my gosh, they're talking about me. I was full of self-doubt, even though I was well prepared. Fortunately, I got there and settled down enough with the help of the nurses, and we solved the situation. The patient did well. When you have a vision to try something big, some will say you're crazy. Ignore the detractors. The only people that have no detractors are people that never put themselves out there. Don't believe them, believe in yourself. Number 6, no excuses. If you ever hope to get better, you have to accept responsibility for your failures. If it is always somebody else's fault, then you don't address the one thing that you can control, which is yourself. Say to yourself, you have to own your failures, put a plan in place, and see that it does not happen again. Then say to yourself, I may fail again, but they're going to have to find a different way to beat me because I fixed that one. Learning from your mistakes does not mean dwelling on them and beating yourself up. Tony Romo famously once threw 5 interceptions in a Monday Night Football game against the Bills and managed to bring his team back and win the ball game. Immediately after the game, the reporter asked him, how in the world did you put the 5 interceptions out of your head and turn it around and win? His response, I threw 5 interceptions? To get better at anything, do what he did. Learn from your failures, fix them, then put them out of your mind and move on. Number 7, work hard. Every team I ever coached, and I coached a lot of them, had the motto, hard work pays off. You can fail for a lot of reasons, but never fail because you did not put in the required work. We all like to have fun, but know if there is work to be done and you are goofing off, somebody out there is working, and when you two meet, they will win. Nobody is just naturally the best at anything. There's no way around it. If you want to succeed, work hard. Number 8, maintain balance. Despite what they tell you, nobody is really happy who does not have a happy home life. Invest in your marriage someday. Devote yourself without reservation to your kids. Nurture your faith. Pray daily. Don't rush off the phone when mom or dad calls. You're not that busy and they worry about you and they miss you. Eat better, exercise more. Money is not everything, and Dad always tells me the greatest happiness is found in doing something nice for somebody else. Number 9, give back. We read in Luke 12:48, to whom much is given, much will be required. You are lucky in your parents, lucky in your country, and lucky to be educated at this school. I am so impressed with all that you have achieved so far, but I am even more excited about what you're going to achieve in the future. You will no doubt eclipse my generation. When you do, give back to your local community and, if possible, the nation and the world. Finally, and most importantly, make good choices. Every day we face hundreds of choices, big and small. The summation of these choices will determine your career, your family, your health, your happiness. Since my kids were little, my perpetual prayer has been they would make good choices. 20 years ago, I joined a team of surgeons around the country developing a new technique for hip replacement. Soon I was traveling teaching this to other surgeons. One Friday, my plane was delayed getting home, and I missed my son's big baseball game and very nearly missed my daughter's singing performance, the biggest of her young life. I told myself then that I was going to stop the traveling and stay home. I was going to coach every team and be at every music show and all the horse events. For me and my family, that was the perfect choice, and I think it's made all the difference. You are one decision away from a completely different life. Choose wisely. All right, that's about it. Before I go, I would be remiss if I did not say something about your teachers and coaches. After a lot more schooling, I can honestly say some of the best teachers I ever had were at this school. Your teachers have affirmed you and instilled self-esteem that will propel you far. Before you leave for college, find that special teacher or coach and tell them thank you. Life is shorter than you now think. Don't procrastinate. I feel like I got 20 minutes behind in ninth grade and still haven't caught up. You will be the one up here before you know it. You have a finite number of days to imprint the world with what you feel is important, to leave your mark, to make it a better place. This is your time. Make good choices every day and go live a good life. Thank you.
We will now present the diplomas to the class of 2022. Zaina Abdul Rahman Abanashra. Macy James Alguire. Layla Almefti Hernandez. Julianne Francis Coe Antuaco. Sebastian Italiano. Kennedy Simone Baker. Charles Allen Barker. Thomas Truitt Bass. Madeline Grace Beckemeyer. Noah Samuel Becker. Robert Sutton Bennett. Zachary Andrew Biagioni. Landon Nicholas Alexander Valera. James Nathan Billingsley. Rylan Dejon Blair. Corinthian Montrell Alexander Bray. Ethan Michael Brevick. Kinley Ray Brown. Presley Emery Brown. Nathaniel Christopher Bird. Joshua Michael Cady. Virginia Claire Caldwell. Scott Richardson Castleberry. Sarah Milam Cecil. Caroline Grace Chambers. Yushin Chen. Rebecca Jo Connell. Caleb Reese Conradi. George Thomas Jacoby Cook. Riley Marie Craig. Lindsay Carol Davidson. Ava Grace Davis. Ella Fu Shull Davis. Maya Krushi Dervish. Kriti Idala. Sydney Lee Elliott. John Patrick Insco. Charles Bass Fisher. Charles Paul Pfizer, Jr. Parker Mackenzie Fuller. Estella Corinne Gadberry. Autumn Grace Galt. Sarah Ahmed Galeb. Avery Rose Gerard. Savannah Marie Goodwin. Maxwell Allen Gorman. Justin Thomas Halpin. Audrey Carson Hampson. William Roland Harbison. William Kent Harrison. Kate Alexandra Hatley. Hope Catherine Henry. Taylor Bailey Hernandez. Tiffany Hannah Hernandez. Joseph Rodney Hyman II. Claire Elizabeth Hobson. Alexandra Austin Holder. Zachary Wayne Horsey. Blakely Kate James. Natalia Marianne Kaza. Kara Ashley Kelly. Jaden Marie Court. Emily Carol Ladner. Harrison Allen Lane. Lila Catherine Leach. Sarah Joyner Love. Rocky Leah Lowenthal. Rayon Majid. Catherine Irene Martin. Emily Matson. Harrison Thomas McCarty. Jessica Riley McCoy. Ashlyn Elizabeth McDaniel. Margaret Elizabeth McDonald. Alexander Amir Marabi. Bo Gibson Miller. Catherine Grace Odom. Joseph Alexander Osment. Suzanne Peterson. Olivia Randall Phelan. Dale George Pino. Logan Christopher Pittman. Everett Elizabeth Pledger. Caitlin Thinkum Quach. Ali Kashaf Rashid. Zola May Rhodes. Caleb Edward Rogers. Jake Reagan Rogers. Kostov Vikram Sarkar. Logan Mullane Scaife. Thomas Mason Schick. Vaughn Henry Seelig. Sydney Esther Schimper. Benjamin Vance Smiley. Jordan Riley Smith. Alea Maisel Smooney. Ian Sue. Olivia Blaze Sabota. Grant Joseph Swindle. Arjan Cyrus Tamboli. Bella Wan Ying Tan. Megan Claire Taylor. Reed Montgomery Terry. Renee Trelfa. Allison Ann Tullis. Miles Christopher Upton. Evan James Welch. Ian Isidro Yu. Class of 2022, please rise and move your tassel. Congratulations. You may be seated.
I took my love and I took it down. I climbed a mountain and I turned around.
And I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills when a landslide brought me down. Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? Can the child within my heart rise above? Can I
Please rise. Eternal God, from our Pulaski Academy education, we have gained knowledge. May we be shown how to use it wisely to make the world we live in a better place, and life with its problems a little easier to face. Grant us faith and courage, put purpose in our days, and show us how to serve in effective ways so that our education, our knowledge, and our talents may find true fulfillment throughout our lives. May we be ever aware that knowledge comes from learning, and wisdom comes from learning, and wisdom comes from you. Amen. Please remain standing for the alma mater.